Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here, how you doing? Right, it's Thursday and we are literally days away from episode number 500 and I am stoked. And I've just decided a few minutes ago which map to review on Monday. I hadn't even decided for certain which one I was going to do, but now I know. And I'm promising you, it's going to be a stonker. It won't be one that you forget for a long time. It's going to be a great show. Today's is going to be a great show as well. The map is quite nice, very photoreal down at ground level. It's kind of unfinished in places, but by deliberate means, so that you can finish the detailing, and of course so that they can finish the detailing in their own YouTube series. The creator is a BonBon buddy of mine over on patreon.com. Not the reason why they're being reviewed. It's a map that deserves it all on its own. And you probably best know this creator for their rocks. And if you don't use their rocks, then what is wrong with you? They've got the best rocks. But before we go any further, one little thing I need to remind you to do. Can you get that finger waggling, please? Because it's time for your daily reminder. Hit the like button. That's right, hitting the like button really does help support the channel and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you so much for all of your support. Right, okay, sit back and enjoy today's map, which is Bremerdale map by Zardas. Bremerdale. We know somebody who was in Bremerdale, don't we, Hendrik? Yes, we do. And it's great, English gag. There's your start square. Lots of intersection going on there. A lot of it, but lots of build space as well. The resources are really fixed for the industry's DLC, a lot of them, off-sea oil and all that. And let's have a look at the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map, and a generic tree pack, and temperate coast 4K. And I didn't... Oh, I'm just having a look. There is no prescribed LUT. I don't even remember what LUT I used for today's map. It could be anything. It looks like it might be the Realistic by Reaper. So I'm sorry, we'd normally go straight down to the Realistic 1.2, but I think I forgot to change it. Sorry about that, guys. We've got a few trees underneath this bridge, but I think they would get enough sunlight over the course of the day to survive down there. So that's a good thing. Then this intersection is fine. That goes off that way. We're going to go this way along the edge of the map for a little while. These arrows pointing left and right, I prefer they were pointing straight on. It's fairly easy to fix, but just a minor quibble, I would say there. Now, the fly-through on the highways may seem a little bit rushed. That's because the show in its original format was well over 20 minutes long, and I needed to save some time, and a lot of this flying over the highways was, well, I felt it was the best way of saving the time, so we are going a little bit faster than normal on the flyover on the highways, but hopefully we're going to be able to absorb all of it. Now I'm taking the long route on the highway here because otherwise it would look like there were no highways, and this is a great way of actually bypassing a lot of the traffic around the start square by having bypass highways. This one is going down the edge of the map somewhat, but we'll be bearing off left in a moment. Nice intersection here, once again obviously plopped, but very nice, right by the edge of map. And then if we head in this way, now we're going in the direction of everything that you're going to care about, which is well, the start square and, well, everything that matters. Now this is a spiral about. I do like a spiral about, and it's quite nicely done as well. There's no pillars or posts in the roads. Everything's quite cool and neat and no clipping stuff. I do like it when you come down to this level and you go, hang on, is that... Oh, it's plenty high enough. I wasn't sure if it would be, but it really, really is. Bit of terrain glitching between the two, but minor stuff and nothing that's bad. See, that arrow goes straight on. That's good work again. I quite like that. It's not always essential, but I do quite like that. Now down here, this is going to look really, really busy. This isn't actually in the start square, but this is quite a magnificent piece of work going on here. And I'm suspecting this was plopped. We've got a dead end rail coming through here as well. So this is a good expansion from the start square straight across the river. And the heights look good, but oh, close to clipping there. Oh, more than close to clipping there. Yes, we have a clipping lamppost. Just the one, but it is quite bad. And down here, oh, hang on a minute. These arrows, see the way they're turning right and left? I like that on these ones, because if they were straight on, it might cause confusion to go straight across the crossing. Is that straight on, or is that, yeah. So I do like with those ones that they are pointing left and right. Thought I'd mention that one as we were in the area. Right, and then down here we've got, this is a little bit messy with the nodes a bit close together, and once again those could be, I'm just going to straighten those arrows up. But yes, two sets of arrows right, one set after the other. I think it looks a little bit untidy, and it just means that you can't quite get the bends on the roads looking very aesthetic. But ever so well done. Well done, Zardas. Right, we're heading now towards the start square now. Once again, two sets of arrows right by each other. It just looks a little bit untidy again. And down here now we've got a nice bit of tree detailing down the sides of the highways here. The map is minus a lot of detailing, so that we can do it. So what areas that are detailed, I do want them to be of a reasonably good standard. Otherwise it's kind of like, oh, by the way, possible start location here. This is in the start square. That's the main intersection over there for the start square. We'll go down and have a look at that. So yeah, we are looking for what areas that are detailed to be of a good standard. Down here we've got, yeah, there's your two nipple ends, very nice, and yep, loads of build space. And is it flat? Well, the answer to that is perfectly flat, which is really enticing. So that's a really nice start square. I like the way it goes down the hill and then into the build plane. Very, very good work there. And then we can head on off. But now look at the tree detailing on this side of the roads, though. It looks okay here. But then it starts climbing up the edges. This is prop line tool used without, well, with abandon really. Up and over edges and along ridges. It doesn't look real. Hanging onto the edges. I mean, I know trees can do that, but they do look like they were planted in a straight line, and that I don't buy into. This tree under here, there is not room for it to grow, and I feel that it's going to cause issues in in time when it grows bigger, and so I would get rid of that. But a lot of this just we've got one up on the shark's tooth. I think there's a bit of bad terrain work on it. It's actually pushing me right up in the air, so it looks like there's some terrain that's been forced down there by the road. I reckon this hill was made after the road and pushed up against it, and the trees were already in place when that terrain was done there, and it just feels, well, a bit shoddy, I'm afraid. Sorry. This I like. That's very nicely done. An intersection here as well. Nice little tree detailing around it. Let's head on off towards the other side of the map now. There's some stuff over here worth looking at, actually, because now we're going away from highways and we're going to go down to national roads, which is fine. This is based on Washington State, and this is not okay. Right, Washington State. This feels very rural around here, so a little elevated section like this makes a lot of sense. You spend $100,000 making that up. But then, so $100,000 making that. Okay, rural area. Would we then, this next is a bit of elevated highway here, right? And it goes on a little way. It goes on a lot of way. This is millions of dollars to make this. I don't buy into this, given the location at all. I would have preferred to see that forced to ground level. With a little bit, with a tapered terrain work around it. I think that's what would have happened there, rather than actually building up on concrete struts. That said, I'm sure a lot of you are going to be sending me photos of real-life locations, rural locations, with that kind of thing going on. National highway down here, lots of trees around the outside. I will show you one particular tree in a minute that was off towards the edge of the map, just beyond the elevated section I just showed you. But yeah, this is all very nice. Goes all the way along here down the valley, and then we go over this ridge here, and it follows the lake alongside. Now, I just want to show you this bit of tree detailing. I kind of like it. I do kind of like it, although normally I'd mark this down. I'm going to put this down as a deliberate effort from Zardas. Look, oh hang on, we've got a little bit of encroaching foliage, but that's okay, it's drivable, I like it. But this tree here, the felled tree, that's encroaching a little bit onto the highway. Now, it looks to me like Zardas has put that deliberately. It's not encroaching actually onto the highway, not blocking anything. And excuse me, and I would say that that tree has been felled away from the highway because it was going to start causing a problem. I don't know that Zardas has done that by deliberate effort, but if they haven't, that was a very, very lucky a bit of amazing detailing. And if they did it on purpose, then I've spotted it and I credit where it's due. Either way, it works and I like it. Now let's go down and have a look at the rail. The rail, well, there's not too much to say about the rail. It's of a reasonable standard. It's a pretty flat map across the middle of the map. So there's not much that can go wrong short of a bad bridge or, you know, trees encroaching onto the rail. And we haven't got any trees encroaching onto the rail, which is good. Shall we go left or right? We're going left towards the start square, I think. And yeah, so there's not really much trees here. And if you have a close look, there's nothing hitting the live wires. That is good. You see, that's as close as it gets. Under the bridge, which is just high enough, I can't moan about that. And there's nothing really to moan about with the rail at all. And there's a fairly good network of the rail. It's not too extreme, and it does go to all the places you kind of want it to. Through a bit of a tunnel here. It goes on a little way, the tunnel. I would argue possibly a bit too far, but that said, comes out in just where the place where you'd need it, over here in the secondary start location. Got a dead end here for the rail as well. We'll go and have a look where this goes. Follows along the river, and yeah, not too much to say about this either. This is fairly standard mundane stuff. Goes under the elevated highway. Nice tidy work there. Off into the fog, and if we follow this expansion even, it will take us around this way. Which means that we can prepare ourselves for a little bit of, do you like a bit of quadritis? I do. Oh, we've got a nice little asset sitting in Assetville from quadritis to have a look at. Shall we have a look at it? Shall we go together? Okay, hold hands now. Be good. I want you all to be very well behaved as we look at Quadwriter's latest piece of work. It's called Quad Jam Pack. Now, quads are renowned for their slightly futuristic, modern. Skyscrapers is probably, yeah, this isn't really a skyscraper. It's a big old thing, a big old modern thing. I'll tell you what, I'm thinking that people are, well, crammed in there. 7,000 apartments. I've not checked to see what the occupancy of this thing is, but I imagine it's something like about 3 million. That's why it becomes jam pack. Anyway, it's a very modern thing. I'm not sure it's my favourite thing from Quadwriters. I am a fan of their work, and but this one's cute. It's going to go into Asset World because well, everything in Asset Review goes into Asset World. But it's a smart little thing. Quad Jam Pack by Quadwriters. Let me know in the comments what you think of that one. As we move on to the theme and LUT review, it's now night time. I'll tell you what, Central Australia by Pidelmo with Al's Retro WW Experimental LUT looks amazing at night. Amazing. I'm loving this. Really nice aesthetic. Right, let's do a little bit of factoids, because factoids... How about Chris Christopherson? Anybody here old enough to remember Chris Christopherson? No, me neither. Started out as an American football star and was also a student at Oxford. Is there an Oxford in America, or am I missing a trick here? Okay, we can't really make out much. Wait till you see the sunset down the river in a second. Oh, so nice. The diarist, Samuel Pepys. He liked to play the recorder. Maybe that's why he's called Peeps. You know, beep, 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 beep. Oh, that sound of the recorder must have drove his neighbours crazy. Perhaps that's what caused the Great Fire of London. People trying to burn down his house to stop him playing the recorder. Sorry. Back to Bremerdale by map by Zardas. We have a shipping route. Goes across the the length of the water. And then we have nice little break in at that angle. And we've got a nice little break in at this angle as well. That's all nice tidy work as well. Goes up the river, under the bridge, which certainly looks high enough to me, and into a good sized harbour. There's plenty of things you can do in that harbour like that. Water flow, it's not the world's widest river, not the world's strongest flowing river, but I suspect it's adequate. I suspect it's adequate. I'm sure you guys are going to prove me wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong, that it needs a little bit more water flow. I would like to see a little bit more water flow. It does pick up a little bit as we get a bit closer to the start square. Like here, slightly stronger arrows now. And I think it picks up a little bit more after there's a waterfall. Here's the waterfall, and it picks up a little bit more pace here as well. So arguably it's okay. It just looks a little bit light to me, just a little bit light. But yeah, a little bit more flush through there would be good. Right, here's the map as a whole, and what really grabs me is look at the hills, especially like this mountain ridge here. I know it's taken from Terrain Party. I think it's just a good selection of hills and whatever. I know it's creative, it's not actually a one-to-one or anything strange or silly like that. There's no real detailing up in the hills, which up here looks a bit odd, but like I say, it's an unfinished, deliberately unfinished map. When we get down to the forests down here, these are the old vanilla trees down here, and then we got, I think these are the generic tree pack at the bottom. The tree work is well, in certain areas it looks a bit sparse and a bit naff. In other areas it looks and feels great. This forest down here, this looks like a good forest. We go down to ground level. One thing about this that grabbed me a little bit more than the trees were the logs. We've got one there and another one there. That's 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 off to the left. There we are, 13. There's a couple. Yeah, there's a lot of fallen logs. I know forests have a lot of fallen logs, but that just seemed a bit too much. And we've got some straightish lines going on here. Now, this is almost certainly caused by move it copy pasting. As someone who's done a lot of move it copy pasting myself, I recognise this, and that kind of needs tidying up a little. I've done exactly the same thing myself, and it does look a little bit, well, unfinished to me. And sort of, I need to see slightly higher polish to the detailing. This is a nice forest though, good mix of trees and good work there as well. Got some trees lining the canyon. Let's have a look at this waterfall while we're down here. It's a bit mundane, but it's fine. Not every waterfall is going to be angel falls or anything pretty like that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not ugly. It just does the job, I guess. And look at the background. That down here, this looks photoreal. This is very, very nice indeed. You may say it looks a bit unfinished and a bit bland, but to me, it looks inviting and a place to actually be creative. And the harbour's plenty big enough to do all sorts of industrial docks and whatever in there. And ooh, look, ooh, it's the Central Lighthouse. To be honest, it looks a bit lonely and a bit sad out here. I think Zardes has probably just put that there for my benefit. But to be honest with you, I think I could have lived without it. I think so. As your chance to vote on the map, is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your votes really do count because they go towards the end of month Viewers' Choice Top 10. And will this map make the top 10? I think it's got a chance. I think it has. I don't know. We've still got a few maps to come this month. But it's better than some. But probably not as good as others. But I'll credit where it's due, I think. And that is in the aesthetics. I don't think it's like a high 4 or anything stupid like that. But I like the overall design. The overall design is very good. And it's photoreal at ground level. Based on that, it is worth 4 stars. Just. Detailing. I'd like to see a bit more polish. I know it's deliberately unfinished. But I've seen maps deliberately unfinished that were comfortable for, possibly even 5 stars. This is kind of a 3. It's just can't give it a 4th star. Gameplay potential. This map has it in spades. The only grumble that I have is there's possibly a lack of water flow through the start square. If you played this map and you've had no problems with water flow and you've got a big city on the go, do let me know. But I just haven't got full confidence, so I'm going to give it 4 stars rather than 5 for gameplay. Bremerdale map by Zardas, a map that draws you in and entices you to play, and I think a lot of you are going to like it. And don't forget to check out his YouTube series, because it's going to be interesting to see what he does with it. Well, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. You can join me over on Patreon for just $1 a month. It's not too late. Never too late to join me on Patreon. We have a bit of a party over there every single week, and you're missing out. There's a vote on screen now on an old map from just over a year ago. Do check that one out. And of course, my map will be due out very, very soon. So save yourself a little bit of time for that one, because I know you're going to want to play it. I just know it. Have a great day, and I'll see you very, very soon.